Hi, I'm Chris, also known as MykonosFan, and this is my now annual end of year Pokemon Living Dex update. I did one of these last year on a whim just because I wanted to look over my collection, and I didn't think anyone would watch it. But I guess YouTube algorithmically pushed it a bit because it got to like 18,000 views, and some people took the title seriously and as an insult. It was called "This is why you shouldn't make a Living Dex." It was just a joke. I was just self-deprecating. So apologies. But I'm back. I've added some cool new Pokemon. I've started some things I was talking about in that video. So let's just go ahead and pop into it. We're going to not look at my playtime on Scarlet and just go right to home. Now, since we're so close to release, I will give some caution that will age incredibly quickly. If you still haven't finished the Indigo Disc, I will be showing the Pokemon from that off, but most of them were shown in the trailer, so I think we're fine. So I still have my landing kind of box here for anything I bring into bank, just so that, you know, it's not constantly pushing out to the end of whatever I'm doing, right? And I have my home event box here. These are, I think these are all for me. I'll be showing off some things that I probably talked about last year, but again, it's been over a year, right? So apologies if you somehow remember anything from that. But yeah, everything, almost everything I have from a home event box I have in here. There are some scattered around, but we'll get there. Okay, so the main thing I talked about doing last year, but wasn't sure because of the time commitment, was going through and doing a Living Dex of every possible Pokemon from their original game, right, with a consistent OT across all of them. And I started doing it. I started streaming earlier this year. I've done Gen 1 and Gen 2. The VODs are on my channel if you want to watch those for whatever reason, but the results are here to save you a lot of time. Though it's been fun. Twitch.tv/MykonosFan. I'll probably start streaming Gen 3 maybe around mid-January, you know, just to give myself a little leeway there with the holidays, right? But I'm itching to get back to it. So yeah, exporting all of these from the 3DS Virtual Console games while it's still possible, because while we know that Pokemon Bank's server functionality is lasting past like March, April 2024, like who knows for how long, right? Maybe it's a few months, maybe it's a few years, maybe it's a really long time. We just don't know. And while I'll hope that we eventually get some kind of release on the Switch or Switch 2, and you know, that way we can all breathe easy and newer Pokemon fans have a way to play these games and do this themselves. You know, we just don't know, right? Pokemon Day is coming up soon. I'm kind of hopeful, but I was hopeful this year and it didn't happen, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, all of these, with a couple of exceptions, have my OT. As you could probably tell by this Butterfree, I've not yet gotten to worrying about the gender differences yet. Just because you can't see the gender in Pokemon Gen 1, I could do some little... I think I could do some tricks, like I could have exported this Butterfree to Gen 2 by trading it, right? Check the gender, sent it back to Gen 1, and then exported. Because if I exported from Gen 2, it would say, oh, it's from Johto, right? So there's some little particulars like that where I'm still, you know, not sure of, but I do have a box set aside for the Kanto females. I just haven't really wrapped back around to decide if I'm going to give myself some grace and say, well, they can come from a Kanto game, but it doesn't have to be the original Virtual Console releases of the original games, right? I'm still trying to figure out where I feel about that, because on the one hand, it is a bit to work with, but on the other, like, who knows if it'll ever be possible again, right? To have all of them from the Game Boy. So still feeling that one out, but this was quite an accomplishment. It was a lot of fun to play this on stream with people watching and hanging out and helping me out, especially because there are so many Gen 1-isms and even just basic Pokemon things I still don't know despite playing all my life. Like, there's a lot of moments where I felt very dumb. So good times are had, right? And yeah, you know, it's Kanto. You probably know these Pokemon pretty well. Nope. Hold on, here's an issue. I need to evolve this Abra. Huh. All right, well, there's still work to be done either way, I guess. And I have some exceptions. Like, here's Ducks, you know, from Trainer. Same deal with Mark the Licky Tongue and Lola the Jinx, right? And Marcel the Mr. Mime. I could technically have traded these out to Johto, bred them, gotten like a clean copy of them, so to speak, right? I could have laundered them, which I may still do just so everything is consistent, but I did at least want to try and get these original trade ones with the usernames and the trainer OT, just because that is a part of the games, right? That is how you get these Pokemon. And some of them, like I think you can catch Licky Tongue somewhere in yellow, or maybe I'm thinking of Jinx, right? But these are still iconic in their own way. So for at least for Gen 1, I wanted to do that. Mew, I have Mews. I don't have Mews exported from Virtual Console. And that's a bit of a hang up for me, but you know, I'll probably do the glitch at some point and wrap back around to that. So for now, it's the first 150 here. And then we get the Johto. Oh, we have the Cat Pikachu. I am still waiting to get the one from Gen 7 when I get there, right? And I don't think you can get the others anymore, so, you know. I don't know why I have a box for it, but just in case, I guess. Maybe they'll re-release them someday, who knows. Yeah, Gen 2. Similar deal here. Deer? Similar deer? Similar deer. Oh my god. Yeah, so thanks to my friend the Golden Bolt, I got this Politoed and this Kingdra traded the other day. We did that in Scarlet and Violet. I forgot about this a Slowpoke. I need to get it up to Slow King, obviously. I just forgot all about it. I had it sitting here and I saw the pink in the box and I was like, yeah, you know, kind of like the Abra. I just saw something yellow there and I was like, yeah, okay, I got it. So that's pending. But everything else, every other Pokemon from Johto, I got, which feels very good. A legitimate Celebi from Pokemon Crystal with the Game Boy origin mark from Johto with the hidden ability is quite a thing. And I may, there's like a part of me that wants to shiny hunt that before this is all said and done. So I may make some time on my own to go and do that, just because, like, again, who knows if you can ever do that again, right? And the other thing here, I didn't mention it as part of the thing. If you're familiar with the Master Dex Challenge, you can tell what I adapted from it for this. But basically, any cross-generational evolutions need to come from the like their origin needs to be of the Pokemon where they're originally from, right? So Eevee is from Kanto. So even like a Glaceon, right, or a Sylveon need to say they're from Kanto, just because I think it's neat. And again, who knows if you'll ever be able to do that again once Bank is shut down. Like, so much of this hinges on that being a deadline of, okay, I need to actually do the things I always thought sounded cool, but I couldn't really get myself to do. And that's Johto here. That's as far as I've gotten on my replay of the older games. And I do have all the females here except for, a female Politoed. Yeah, I need to figure that out at some point. But everything else here from the Game Boy, right? They're all the female versions. I'm just double checking myself here. Okay, yes. And then all the unknown, barring the exclamation points that, in my opinion, will come from Fire Red. Just because that's technically their origin, right? And I did actually get them. I forget where I would have put it. Like, I did actually bring out my Fire Red copy, put them through all the weird Pal Park things to get them into Pokemon Home. But, you know, I want the same OT on everything, right? So I looked at it and it has my actual name, Chris, and not Mykonos. And I was like, we just can't be doing this out here. I probably showed them off last year if I did it by then. But yeah, I went and did that in the middle of February. But the OT, that's not Mykonos, right? And this will all be terribly ironic if I ever change my username again. Yeah, and I did some initial testing of this, but my 3DS, before I started all these replays, for some reason its date was set to 2043. So I had to even redo some of the progress I'd already done here, which felt great. But anyway, you can see my old Hoenn Living Dex progress in there. Here I just got some extras where I was trying to go for female variants and stuff, and another Togepi. I think I just accidentally got one extra because I wasn't paying attention. Sinnoh here. Again, some of the same deal, right? This is an Ambipom male from Johto. This is a Miss Magius from Johto. A Honchkrow from Johto, right? You get the idea. You know, I already did some of my future work here just to get some of this stuff kind of done and dusted. That was a little more time dependent. And there's a mark from my second Game Boy copy that I traded forward. So that's one, again, where I might need to think about going back and getting a clean Lickitung, just so that's technically Licky from my OT, right? And you can see I took these into Legends Arceus and evolved them there just because that was the most convenient for me for a lot of these. And yeah, they're all, aside from the trade evolutions, like they're all Mykonos, they're all from the original land, right? Like a Porygon Z from Kanto. That's cool, right? And then this box I haven't yet gotten to. I DNS exploited the Legendaries at some point in my life, right? Where they host the Wi-Fi events and you connect to like fan servers. So it's an illegitimate way to get legitimate legendary Pokemon, right? And I just haven't really gotten to this box yet because I'm just like, should I count this Shaman? Should I not? Like, I'm still not quite sure where I land on that, but I think I lean toward may as well, right? I've caught Arceus and Shaman legitimately in the recent games, right? And Hoenn, you know, so there's a part of me that's like, yeah, screw it. And I'll be replacing Giratina and Dialga and Palkia with like actual ones I caught on my replay playthrough. And like these are from my copy of Diamond, you know, from back when I got it when it came out. I just didn't export them until years later, right? Shame I have to redo those. Those are really nostalgic ones, but I'll keep them around. Here I have a Abomasnow and Rhyperior just hanging out because I just haven't moved them. But these other ones here are legitimate and they are under my challenge guidelines, so to speak. So just to show that off. And then there's 31 Sinnoh females, so Mamoswine would just always get a box to it herself here. These I just haven't moved yet. And then when we get into here, like this is my actual genuine Victini from launch period Pokemon Black, right? That's not DNS exploited. That's just, I was playing the games back then and I got to get it. You know, I was so excited for Pokemon Black. Unlike a lot of my friends at school, I was like, I don't know guys, this one looks good. It was like a weird opinion to like Pokemon Black and White for so long, at least when, you know, with people I knew. So a lot of these actually are from Sword and Shield, or some are from like X and Y. And again, I just haven't moved them yet. I just don't enjoy interfacing with Pokemon Home on Switch. I wish there was like a web portal so I could use a mouse and then I would love this. But you know, as it stands now, when I need to move these, I will move them. And you know, just showing off like Cobalion. Like these are the ones I caught in my copy of Pokemon Black back then on my only playthrough. Like I still have that save file. You know, that's my Reshiram that I caught and used in my team. We went up to level 87, right? Like very cool. And then yeah, there's a sad part of me that's like, oh man, did I DNS exploit these or did I Wi-Fi event these? I don't even remember anymore. I think I got those legitimately, but maybe I didn't at this point. Bascule's just hanging out, and here's a Keldeo, right? These are the Therian forms is what they're called. I got these legitimately from Pokemon Dream Radar. Very interesting. Kalos, you know, the ones that are from X and Y are from X and Y, but they don't have my OT, you know. And then there's a lot of Sword and Shields here because again, Sword and Shield was just very good for getting a lot of Gen 6 and 7. Like you know, these are just ones I caught completing the Pokédexes for those games. or at least trying to. These weren't like I'm filling up my Living Dex and stock, just this is just what I had, you know. Then we got some fun stuff here. These are all legitimately obtained on these mythicals. My friend Justin, I think I thanked him last year, but he went to GameStop and got me this Volcanion last year. I didn't want to drive an hour to there and an hour back, so thank you again, Justin, for saving me that drive. Very much appreciated. Yeah, you know, here's some fun stuff. These Vivians are from back in the day. I did connect and get these. So while this fancy pattern is available in Scarlet and Violet, I think it's the default one now. I still don't think this Pokeball pattern has been released, and it's the one that in a down period of Pokemon, I probably wouldn't have connected and gotten. So I'm glad I did, because oh my god, apparently it's very rare. You know, and some Sun and Moons, just kind of skipping over these because they're not really applicable to the challenge yet. They're just ones I still have around. The Zeraora, thank you to AE Double for letting me have theirs. Very appreciative, because it is a mythical. I didn't have Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, right? I couldn't even have gotten it if I wanted it back then. At the time, I think I just looked at it and was like, oh, another mythical. You know, I was kind of out of Pokemon when Zeraora came out, and I didn't have Sword and Shield when this distribution was happening. So I very much appreciate that, because who knows when we'll see Zeraora again. Probably in Go, but you know. Here there's some stuff that I just have, but there are a few here that are under my new challenge, which is this Raichu from Kanto. Again, an Alolan, you know, Raichu and Executor and Marowak that are from Kanto with the Game Boy icon is just such a cool thing, right? I just think it's so neat that you can take Pokemon from that old of a game, evolve them into these forms that they couldn't even dream of back then, and just get away with it, right? Like, it's so neat. Now we got to Galar. This was mostly the way it was last year, but I went through and kind of tidied it up a bit. There were some like Appleton, you know, thanks to the Scarlet and Violet DLC, I can get the apple needed to evolve into Appleton pretty easily, whereas last time I couldn't have my OT on it just because I didn't have shield, right? And I have the phony forms up here in the decks for Sinistea and Poltegeist. And yeah, the main stuff I'm missing here is a normal form Zarude, just because I don't know. I don't think I had Sword and Shield at the time when it was given out, or I did and just missed it. Like, I don't remember. I have it in Go, but apparently he's good in Go, so I don't want to export him just yet, and I don't want that big goofy Pokemon Go symbol here. But yeah, I went through. I do have Shield now. GameStop had it for like $15 the other month, so at some point I'll get my own OT and a non-shiny Zamazenta in here, but for now I do have that event one just kind of hanging out there. And yeah, I went through into the second playthroughs to get like the other two legendaries here I didn't pick, and the other Urshifu form that I didn't pick. I have phony antique forms here. Antique designated by the little, what? Oh, the cursor moves sometimes as it's zooming in. Okay, I'm putting in inputs to zoom and it's moving. Yeah, the little star marker there is how I know. And then my Galarian forms, quite a cool bunch here. I'm really into all of these, honestly. I think they're all very neat. The one here that was applicable for the regional dex thing I'm doing is a Kantonian Galarian Weezing. Again, very cool. I actually just evolved it the other night, finally, just to kind of get caught up here. Then we move into Alchemy. I'm pretty sure I had this done last year and probably talked all about that. I'll have more to say about Alchemy very soon. Don't you worry. Then my Gigantamaxes, these are pretty much all the same as last year, right? I did some stuff like, oh, this Appleton is now my OT. You know, I fixed up some little issues like that. And again, I did extra playthroughs to get another Urshifu of each kind, just to have Gigantamaxable versions out here separately. Another Alchemy just with the base spin and everything. Even down to like male and female versions, even though the Gigantamax version doesn't have male or female designations, just because the site I was using to track these had it, and I was like, well, you know, fine, I'll just do it. Hisuian Pokemon, again, we have some cool additions here of a Johto Hisuian Weirdeer. I guess it's just a Jotonian Weirdeer at that point, technically, right? Cleaver from Kanto, Ursaluna from Johto, and then the ones that you can't catch in an origin region and bring it here, they're just from Hisui solely, right? At some point, I need to play Legends Arceus again for the Therian form Enamorous. That might be a stream, but I enjoy that game, so that won't be an issue. And out of here, everything's the same. This is the Typhlosion that kind of set me down this path, though. Like November 4th to 2022, I was like, oh man, okay. I might have to go play all the old games just because it is so weirdly satisfying to my brain to see a Jotonian Hisuian Typhlosion with the Game Boy mark, right? And all this stuff going on. Like, that's just cool. So it's basically that fault. Now, last year, all this is new. Paldea was unreleased. And maybe it was, but Pokemon Home compatibility took a while, right? So I couldn't have shown this back then. So yeah, these, I believe they all have my OT. I think I filled any little weird things they had where like someone gave me a cat, right? And I didn't have my OT on it. I think I've gone and fixed up anything like that. I still have some holes to plug here, but right. My Ceruledge is, didn't I move a Ceruledge in anticipating this video? Actually, hold on. Here's Ceruledge. Oh, this is the shiny. Okay, I see. I didn't. Spoilers for later. I've done some shiny hunting. Okay. So we're missing a Ceruledge. It's just in use in my team in Violet, I think. Yeah. Oh, and there were two issues I found the other night. I forgot to get a spare Mankey and Girafarig for my Annihilape and for Farigiraf. So those are still pending. I still got to go back and do that. This is a 2-segment Jotonian Dunsparce, or the Dunsparce. I'm sure when you heard me talking about this, you were like, what about the 3-segment? I haven't gotten back and done it yet. That might be a stream. That might just be me doing that in a dark room all by myself at some point. We'll see. And then we get to the end of the Paldea Dex, the end of Generation 9 as we know it, with 2 Pokemon that are Violet exclusive, because I not in a place to spend $35 on DLC twice for 2 Pokemon, right? And the Mythical, which I think we just got the trailer for, so I'll be able to add that soon. But yeah, all of the Indigo Disc Pokemon, the new ones are here that I can have. All of the Teal Mask editions here, right? Very into Hydrapple. Very into Hydrapple. And of course, he's from Galar, so is Archaladon, right? Very neat. My Diplin, also from Galar. Just very cool. Then I have my alternates. The blank here is a 3-segment Johto to Dunsparce. Everything else is like, oh, this is a gender or a different color or a different Tatsugiri, right? Here's the roaming form Gimmighoul from Go, the antique Poltergeist and Sinistea, or Sinistea, Blood Moon Ursaluna, and then Paldean forms of Pokemon here. And that's where my Living Dex goes to right now. That is where things end, just because that's how many Pokemon we have at the moment. Then we get into my Go Shinies. I finally started exporting these after I had an account scare issue around the summer with Go, where I just wasn't able to log in. Turns out it was my Cloudflare VPN or whatever I was using, right? And that was just blocking my login. Everything was fine. But it got me thinking, like, man, I have so many shinies in Go. Like, I need to start exporting the ones I'm not using in my battles. So, yeah. So when you see that big G symbol I said I was trying to avoid, that's why. Some people in the comments last year helpfully pointed out that if a Pokemon can go to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, You can export them there and then bring them into home, and it'll show that it's from Go, but it won't have this big tacky symbol that's even like off center with the move not permitted symbol. It just looks bad and distracting and gross. Like, I want to look at the Pokemon, and this big G is just so distracting. It is the most first world thing imaginable, but I just want to see my little Pokemon, you know? Anyway, look at that. Hitmonchan agrees. He's like, get out of here. Go, get. Anyway, there's those. What comes next? I think it's... These are just random things I had. I probably showed some of these off last year. A fair number of these I know were DNS exploited. Like this Celebi I did get because I remember with my girlfriend at the time, we were doing the 20th anniversary Pokemon Wi-Fi events. So we were making sure to get these. The GameStop Jirachi. My Heart Gold or my Soul Silver Gyarados, right? And the Mega Gengar Shiny Gengar distribution. I still have like the physical cards for those somewhere. You know, some actual stuff here, some actual Pokemon. I think this is my Virizion. Yeah, look at that. But that's all stuff I probably showed last year. So we're just going to kind of keep on trucking here, see what comes next. Okay, these are the Pokemon I caught in Scarlet, in Shiny, in order of catch mostly. Some of this has been kind of moved around out of the way, but you know, Hoppip, Skiddo, Corviknight, like we can hop in here and actually appreciate them, right? I'm gonna go kind of quick, but you know, just to show off how good my shiny luck was really. Like, I don't think it was until around Swablu where I got the shiny charm. You know, all of those before that were just me finding them. This Tandemaus I hatched just because I was hatching them just for fun, really. I was just like, yeah, let's just get a few. I need a mouse hold of 3, so I'll just, you know, get some eggs. Boom, shiny Tandemaus. I've evolved it. It does turn into the family of 4, so it doesn't turn into the rare one. So I was just like, you know, I'll just reset and have the potential. Right. Nightform, Lycanroc, you know, Sneasel, Dondozo, Paldea and Wooper, and Clodsire. This Chansey is from a raid den. This was, your shiny charm doesn't affect raid shiny odds. This was like the full 1000 out of, or 1 out of 4096 or whatever it is. Like, this was a full odds raid den Chansey, which was very cool. 2-segment shiny the Dunsparce, you know, Oinkologne, Forretress, Sableye, Bronzong, Roaring Moon, Zvylus, Magnezone, Magnemite. A lot of these were outbreak hunted, and then, you know, the Paradoxes I mostly did sandwiches to get. 2 of these Screamtails I just found on my own, right? But this is a lot of like particularly hunting for shinies. I do have a 3-segment. It is in my Scarlet version, so I can try to remember to show that off before the video, but that was like 40 hours of my life. Here's a shiny Cleavor, right? I got a Scyther in Scarlet, moved it to Legends, and then brought it back before you could evolve it to Cleavor in Indigo Disc. Arboliva, that was just a random Smoliv I found, right? Garchomp, a Screamtail, another Glamora I just found randomly. Screamtail, Jumpluff. I have so many shiny Hop-Ups and Jumpluffs, it's ridiculous. Yeah, a lot of this was mostly just me just going, A, is there an outbreak I want to do today? Or B, I want the Paradox's shiny, and then finding shinies along the way, hunting for those. This one I hatched for because I really like when regionals shinies switch back to the original color palette. I don't know why, it just tickles my brain and I like it. Slitherwing, great shiny. Donphan. And the other thing I wanted to do was like, okay, well, if I'm going to shiny hunt the Paradoxes, wouldn't it be cool to have the shinies of the original too, right? So I have a shiny Iron Thorns and I have a shiny Tyranitar, Brute Bonnet. I got a Fungus and Go that was shiny, so I evolved it up. I don't think I've exported that yet, but that's just another little for fun thing I do now and then when I just want to shiny hunt and catch up on some YouTube or whatever. But yeah, I mean, all of these shinies, right? So many shinies. Another Skiddo, another Altaria, like Espathra, Cacnea, Flittle, Mareep, Quillfish, Laffy, Ampharos. One of my favorite Pokemon. He was my favorite for so long, but I really like Overquill, so I'm really undecided on who my favorite Pokemon is nowadays. Avalugg for whenever I shiny hunt a Hisuian Avalugg, that way I have both of them. Another Mareep, another Skiploom, a random Shuppet I found, that was cool. Here's that Ceruledge I did an outbreak for. Rookidee, Steenie, another Hoppip, Murkrow, and a regular Dunsparce, just because I didn't have a regular shiny Dunsparce after all that hunting. This is one I just randomly found, this Chansey. A Deerling I didn't even notice was shiny until I bumped into it. And then this one I definitely noticed just because the pink on the orange was way more standout. A random Wiglet I found, I love it, it's great. A random Shelter I found like not long after that. And Buizel, Murkrow. Klefki I hunted for, another Hoppip. Is that just a loop? No. A random Knackley I found, and Litleo, who I did outbreak hunt. I need to evolve 2 of these. Is that a male? No, they're all female. I found another one the other night in the Indigo Disc. I think I have 4 female shiny Litleos now. Huh. Weird. And a Corvisquire there. And I also breeded for just a regular shiny Typhlosion. Very cool. And then the Tauroses here I did breed for because I did not want to shiny hunt those. At some point I'll breed the regular form, but we'll get there. And then past that, it's just random Pokemon. Like here's just the Pokemon I caught going through Paldea that I haven't really wanted to get rid of, right? These guys I can probably send back. I don't know why they're in here. And a Violet Walking Wake and a Violet Iron Leaves from my Violet copy, right? Yeah, this was just completing the Living Dex in Scarlet just because I was having so much fun just going around catching all the Pokemon basically. So I just moved them all into here. I even got like legitimate and antique Sinistee and Poltergeist again. Yeah. That's what all of these are. And then, yeah, some of the ones I traded for at first just because I couldn't get my own at the time. Just because I had both copies, but I only have one Switch, so I had to wait for home compatibility to get these Pokemon into my game. So I just traded at the time. This was my original Kanto Dex. If you watched my video last year, that's a Gigantamaxable Ivysaur. That's a weird, not sure where that's from. But these were all from like Let's Go or different games, right? And like this proves that Let's Go thing people pointed out seems to have first been met in Pokemon Go, but since I transferred it to Let's Go, it doesn't have the little symbol. Very interesting. Very thankful people pointed that out, because I definitely would not have noticed that or even thought that could be possible, right? And now we're back to where we were earlier. And here's my Hoenn Dex. I just have a shiny Dustox sitting in here. I probably showed that off last year though. So this is where they're all at now. I still have them all around, right? I still have Groudon and Drachi and Deoxys. This Drachi is from the 20th anniversary. Yeah, okay. Team Plasma's Deoxys. That's a weird one. And, oh. Okay, here's where we're at current day. We have this Milcery event now going on that boosts shiny Milcery odds to like 0.5%, like 1 out of 200. Which is ridiculous. And I was like, I have like almost 600 shiny Pokemon between all my games and Pokemon Go. And if I ever wanted to do a shiny Living Dex, this is the one that would make me not want to do it, or the one I would dread the most if I did do it. So I need to just actually pipe down and do it. So this is every shiny alchemy. These are all the different swirls. The shiny models here don't show it, but these are all technically the different ones. This is what I was doing in the last few days, and what had me to be like, you know, this is substantial enough to where combined with the Kanto and Johto dexes, I can come in here and show these off. So these are all outbreak hunted in the current event going on. Who knows if there will ever be a better time. I used the item printer to get the star and ribbon suites. Thank God. All done. Never have to think about alchemy again. Ever. Unless they introduce new ones someday. Maybe in the Sword and Shield remakes. So that's the big thing for me. Those are all done. That feels good. I did the same for all the floettes that are currently happening in the event, because those have the same odds and they're fantastic. And yeah, my shiny legendary beast from the GameStop distribution like 12 years ago, showed those off last year, I bet. Still very cool. And yeah, everything else is pretty much how it was. So I guess what I should do, I definitely showed these guys off last year. Okay, yeah. So I guess what I should do now is go into my Scarlet and show off the last few little pieces there. There's still some cool stuff to show off. More recent stuff, obviously, right? But still cool. So I have a shiny Hydrapple in my party. That's what I'm very happy with. But since we can't look at the party view, I just wanted to mention it. So here's my main team from the main playthrough, right? Farigiraf, Dondozo, Skeledirge, Palmot, Clodsire, and Lowkicks. Quite a gang. Some shiny Go Shinies here. I'm just going to the left, just cause. These are the legendaries I've been catching in the post game so far. These are just Pokemon I was catching to fill out the Indigo Disc decks, right? Nothing too special there. Some Tandem Mouse I was just breeding and didn't think to get rid of just because I wanted to wait until I looked at them in home so I could mass delete them. Isn't that a thing? Okay, I'll figure that out some other time. I know you can. I just forget how. And then that is just from when I was doing my initial Scarlet Living Dex. That's not even applicable anymore. I have all the Titans here. I think they're all like the exact level you can catch them at in the game. I just thought it was cool that they let you go back and get them, so I just gave them their own little space here. And these are all the Mightiest Mark 7-star Terra raids I've done. I haven't done all of them just because I didn't. The compulsion to collect them all hadn't quite kicked in at a point. So there's a couple I didn't do. Like I think I didn't do Rillaboom, right? But I'm now fully on board and doing every single one that comes out. Dialga and Palkia from the current event. I think it just ended last night, actually. Whoops. And, you know, any event code giveaway or anything Pokemon they've done, like this is the one you got for playing near the start of launch, right? These are people's competitive Pokemon they've given out. This was the April Fool's Day when pigs fly, flying Terra type Lechonk. You know, someone's Palafin. Someone's shiny Arcanine, right? And then I don't remember what this one was, but yeah, it's an event Pokemon. This Grimmsnarl, right? Like I've just been real into collecting all these now and, you know, thinking Cherish Balls are cool. This Mew is technically a giveaway, right? Yeah, okay. I had to remind myself. I was like, isn't this a Mightiest Mew? Oh, right, it is, but it's technically a giveaway. And yeah, the shiny Munchlax from Ogre Ousting, the Gen 4 Egg Jock gives you the GameStop Halloween Mimikyu that I had an ordeal getting. And the shiny Lucario and Darkrai they just gave out. Then just new stuff I've been shiny hunting. So I have a few new boxes here. Shout out to Absol Blogs Pokemon for hosting these shiny Gimme Goal raid Terra events. I caught him offline one time. It was like, yo, can I get another? And he's like, yeah, I bet. So word. I haven't evolved one yet to golden gold just because I'm like, well, they'll have to eventually give them out since you can't hunt it in the game, right? So having 2 would be cool. And yeah, Toad's cool, Toad's cruel. Phony Poltergeist and Sinisty. Applin, Dusk Form, Lycanroc, right? Maybe that's just day. That's just day. Dusk Form was more recent. You know, and all the Tatsugiri. There's the Charcadet I Outbreak hunted, and the Armor Rouge, Tarantula, Spidops. Like, there was a point where I just wake up and be like, oh, what Pokemon are on Outbreaks today? All right, well, I'll just shiny hunt them while I wake up and catch up on the internet and see what's going on, you know? Here are all the ones from my Chipper Mark Clefairy video. If you watched that, then you'll be familiar with this gang. And that's the first box. Oh, and a Mudsdale. Hi, Mudsdale. Secondly is when I started shiny hunting in just more of Kitakami, right? Mienfoo, Mienshao, 2 of my favorites. Ekans, I just found it was cool. Mimikyu, I hunted. Capsicid, I found. Bellybolt, Psyduck, Tadbulb, Tatsugiri, another Swablu, a Camerupt, so cool. I have the shiny economy is broken, but I think it's just broken enough. I think if they made it any easier, it would really tip too far. But you know, it's just enough to where you can probably get any non-locked shiny Pokemon. Speaking of, without much effort. This Arceus is from Brilliant Diamond. I just have him in here because I wanted to see him in 3D. The shiny Feebas from Go, also from that Chipper Clefairy video, and shiny Sandygast. Here's the Dusk Form shiny Lycanroc. There's my 3-segment to Dunsparce. I've shown him off a lot on the internet, but you know, that took a lot of time. I'm going to keep showing him off, dang it. This Rhydon is from the Golden Bolt. He just didn't want the Rhyhorn. I was like, all right, well, I'll evolve it. Sure, I'll take it. Shiny Alolan Grimer, right? We're real recent now. Like, I bumped into this Comfy the other day. I got this Rhyperior. I found a Rhyhorn, right? Here's all the full Beybes and everything. I hunted all the colors, so thank goodness for the Outbreaks for making these once annoying Pokemon easy to shiny hunt, you know? For people like me that don't have an attention span, it's great. And I got this line the other day. Very, very happy about that. Here's some more. Oh. Sensu Oricorio and Smeargle. Another female shiny Litleo. A Alolan Graveler. And then I hunted Metang and Metagross, and let me tell you, catching those in Premier Balls took a while. I think I spent literally 20 minutes on that Metagross. And now we get to recently, where I found a shiny Spider-Gwen Salazzle and Rowlet, which is my current hunt because I have a Rowlet Outbreak. And I was like, you know what? Perfect timing. Yeah, so that's barring anything I'm forgetting here. Like, here's some of my raid team Pokemon, right? But that's pretty much everything worth showing off, at least. So yeah, thank you for watching another one of these. This wasn't meant to be this long, but hopefully you enjoyed looking at my Pokemon and going, wow, they're cool. At some point, I guess I could show off the other ones, right? But I have to get going and my voice is getting hoarse and I still have to do more speaking after this. Oh God. So we'll come back and look at the rest someday when it makes sense. Maybe I'll just live stream and just go through all of them or something. But like I said earlier, still continuing my Living Dex hunt, region by region. I will be starting Gen 3 sometime in like a month or so. So be sure to come on through for that if you're interested and help me out and realize what the heck is up with Hoenn. And no, we're not getting every Spinda variant, just to cut that one off at the pass. But yeah, it should be fun. I'm most looking forward to getting to Alola out of everything. I think there's a lot of fun Pokemon there that you just don't really get to see in the main game unless you go looking for some of them. So that should be fun. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know how your Living Dexes are going in the comments, since if you're this far in, I assume you're working on one too. And yeah, I'll see you around. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.